Barack Obama was the establishment. He had little Washington, managerial, economic, or national security experience, and yet his agenda was vast, the country's crises severe, his glow already dimming that autumn. He was a solitary figure in a job where emotional engagement, not just policy accomplishments, was essential to success. The Obamas had disappeared deep into the White House. Their friends had become their staff, their children celebrities, their new dog the recipient of letters requesting his official portrait. By 2012, would they still be the couple we met in the 2008 race? How would they cope with the difficulties and failures that were just starting to come into view that fall? Had the Obamas' freshness to political life really been an asset in the first place? There was something else, too. The Obamas had spent their marriage debating how much change was possible within the political system and whether public life could be made livable. The First Lady was the worrier, with little trust that government could create lasting change and fear that political life was inherently corrosive. "I didn't come to politics with a lot of faith in the process," she had said years earlier. "I didn't believe that politics was structured in a way that could solve real problems for people." The president didn't disagree exactly. His critique of the powerful was nearly as unsparing, but he had an astonishing faith in his own abilities. He believed that he could solve those real problems, that together they could protect themselves from the toxic forces Michelle feared. He told the country, but also his own wife, that he could reconcile the seemingly irreconcilable, red and blue America, the legislative process and lofty goals, a political life, and a private one. The White House was already testing those promises severely. "The strengths and challenges of our marriage don't change because we move to a different address," the First Lady said in the interview. It was my first clue that the Obamas' private debate hadn't ended on election night 2008, that it continued in the White House with greater force, scope, and complexity than ever. Exploring the impact of the presidency on the Obamas' relationship was not nearly enough, I realized. The question was too small. The more difficult question was the reverse one, the impact of their partnership, their debates and differences, shared ideas about themselves, and deep hesitation about politics on the presidency, the job of First Lady, and the nation. In public, they smiled and waved. But how were the Obamas really reacting to the White House, and how was it affecting the rest of us? I reported and wrote this book to answer those questions. I discovered an untold story of Michelle Obama's deep initial difficulty in the White House, her disorientation in a strange, confined new world, tense relationships with many of her husband's advisors, struggle for internal influence, and eventual turnaround. I also found that reporting on her was a way to better understand her elusive, introverted husband. She is his sparring partner, early warning system, refuge, and guardian, tougher by his own admission than he is. Hers are the ultimate standards he tries to live up to, with consequences we will be debating for a long time to come. Knowing her real experiences in the White House helps us understand not just one of the most influential women of our time, but fresh and essential truths about her husband's tenure. One of the strangest things about the presidency is how unsparingly intimate it is. The White House is an office, home, and museum all at once, those three functions constantly colliding. The President and First Lady often hide just inches from public view. Their jobs are performed the same way, with little separation between public and private, political and personal. Instincts, aversions, blind spots, and vanities that would not matter much in ordinary workplaces have huge significance. Again and again, working on this book, I saw how the Obamas' personal dynamic had consequences for the rest of us. A shared mistrust of politics so strong, it sometimes hurt the presidency.